Hey everyone, hope you guys are doing well. We are back with another What's Sold on eBay video. This is 4 days in the eBay store. Quite a good mix here as always. You got the bread and butter, we got the stuff that I should have never bought most likely, and I got the good stuff. The stuff that kind of gets you excited, the home run type stuff. We will address the toner cartridge that I mentioned in the last video. I said I had bought some and it was coming up. You'll see it here still in a second. And that video ended before we got to that sale. So you'll see it here in this one. Sorry for making you guys wait. I hope sales are doing well for you. Again, these are from about a month back, but still pretty relevant. A lot of this stuff is still going to sell and you should be looking out for it. We are shifting to Q4, so hopefully sales across the board for us will pick up. Mine have not picked up. If anything, they've kind of dropped just a tad bit, at least with quantity. Maybe not dollar amount, but quantity may have dropped a little bit, but hopefully we'll see it kind of pick up from here. I just listed a bunch of video games and I got some systems going up tonight. Those are always good sellers and I love finding them. So aside from that, I do want to say, not that many of you may really be interested, but I do have some exciting news. My wife and I found out that we're actually going to have a girl, which is awesome. I actually have two boys. Some of you may know Noah and Zane. You may have seen them at different points throughout the video. My family does not have a lot of girls in it. My sister was like the first girl in 60 something years. I don't remember how many, but that was kind of cool to find out that I'm having a girl. So that's exciting. My wife is due in February. I'll keep you guys posted if you're interested, but I just wanted to share that with you in case you were. But let's get into what sold, the real reason while you're here, and for the little tidbits of humor that you might find in me explaining what sold. First off is an HP toner set. This is what I was talking about. This is 4 HP 131A toners. $10 each is what they had on the pricing at that estate sale, so 40 bucks in. Sold for 230 shipped, and it sold within a day. Awesome deal. I think it only cost us 17 bucks to ship it FedEx with insurance or something like that. It was a really good rate. And I've told you guys before, FedEx and UPS are both pretty competitive right now with the shipping quotes for bigger items, so don't be scared. It's not as bad as I feel like it used to be. The rates we're getting are pretty good. And most stuff, once you have a couple of shipments that are a little bit larger, you don't really feel as bad. It seems pretty natural then to ship larger items, so don't be scared. But 230 shipped on that. Awesome. Desiring God, Meditations of a Christian by John Piper, or Christian Hedonist, sorry, by John Piper. I sold another book in the last sale, like for $12, and I said I bought a stack of books for 10 bucks. This was also one that was in there. It sold for 8. All these books sold within like a day or two, so it was awesome, but 8 shipped on that one. 4 Eagles CDs. These sold for 20 shipped. I told you guys I get a lot of CDs by somewhat of a popular artist, or I feel like there's a following. I'll just lot them together, try to get 4 or 5 bucks a CD in the lot. That's exactly what happened here. We got $20 shipped. Medium mail shipping's probably still $2.80 on this one, maybe a little bit more, but really easy to ship out. How I ship my CDs, guys, if I have a lot like this, a few CDs, I'll actually bubble wrap them and then put them in an 8x6x4 box, medium mail label, and they're on their way. If it's one CD and it's not super valuable, I'll just bubble wrap it into a bubble mailer and ship it out, and I've had pretty good success with that still as well. So that's kind of how I handle that. A Samsung 3D Blu-ray player. This is the BDE5 900 model, if that means anything to any of you, but that's the model number. Usually certain models of different units of all kinds of systems, Samsung, Sony, are worth different kinds of prices. So you always got to look them up because some may look the same as another one but could have some value. This one I actually got for like $2 from one of my sources. He said it didn't know if it worked, but he really was he tries to sell me as much stuff as he can. So I told you, try to buy a lot, but paid $2 and it sold for 40 shipped. It did work. I tested it out. Did not have the remote, which I try to get the remotes if I can, but I just didn't feel like paying for this type of unit, paying $12 for the remote on top of it. But I got 40 shipped. More of that Align Digestive Care. I told you guys I had this one in the last video. This is from that discount store. 26 shipped on that guy. Sonic the Hedgehog. This came with a bunch of posters and Mad magazines I bought. I spent 50 or 60 bucks. I forgot how much, but it was a whole tub full of stuff. I mainly bought it for the Mad magazines and the like Super Bowl programs, and they had some World Series programs and stuff like that. I figured, well, I'll sell the Mad magazines. I might get up to 100 bucks on those. I had a huge collection. There were some cracked magazines in there as well. And then when I was opening things up, I found all these posters and these little like comics and stuff. This Sonic the Hedgehog one by Archie sold for 23 shipped. Apparently it was the first one printed, so or the first issue. Not the first one ever, but the first issue of that particular comic sold for 23 shipped. Some ARP bolts. These are for a Subaru head kit. I got these from Storage Unit Guy. They were just in a box. You guys that have seen the video, he just has tables out with what he feels is like the more valuable collectible stuff, and then just buckets on the ground. And that's kind of what I call the just the general population stuff. It's the stuff where it's like he thinks it's just regular junk. Anybody can come up and pick up and buy, and he doesn't really put a lot of value on it. That's where I found these bolts. They were just sitting in one of those buckets. Pulled it out, scanned it, had a barcode. I saw it sold comps anywhere from 220 shipped or so on the high end. I listed mine, sold it for 205 shipped. I think we paid $350 that day, so one item almost paid for everything. Some more HP 45 ink. These ones sold for 30 shipped. 2 packets there. Again, this is the older expired ink, but look out for HP 45. It's a particular model that does pretty well. Psalms, the expositional commentary. This is a book that I got in an estate sale. It was thick. It looked pretty good. It was a commentary, so I ended up scanning it, I believe, or at least looked it up. Saw comps were pretty good, at least $20. Grabbed it, and it sold for 30 shipped. So $2 into 30 on a medium mail shipping, so nothing wrong with that. A Turk Technologies AM/FM powered antenna tower. This one I bought a big box of electronics. There was some Bose speakers in there, I think a Pioneer speaker, some Samsung stuff, all kinds of speakers and just subs and stuff like that in this big tub. It was super heavy. Paid $25 for the whole box, and this was in there as well. I ended up testing out. It seemed to work based on what I could do, and I sold it for 30 shipped. Cost I think 12 to ship it, so we made probably 12 or 13 bucks after the fees. Some Disneyland Resort white Mickey Mouse gloves. These are like a costume gloves you'd put on, whether they're plush. They sold for 19 shipped. My brother-in-law was going to get rid of these. I guess he had them from when they went to Disneyland a long time ago. He was going to throw them away. I ended up pulling them out of the donate pile and sold them for 19 shipped. A Sony Walkman, and I apologize because one of my viewers wanted me to give them a Sony Walkman. I thought I had sold my last one in that video. Silly me, I still had one and it sold as well, and I was supposed to reach out to her if I found one, so she knows who she is. I'm still looking for one, and if I find you one, I will send it to you. So that way you can have one. This one it sold for 27 shipped, which is pretty good. Usually on these Walkmans, I'm getting anywhere from 22, 23 to about 30 shipped. There are some that are more valuable that can go for like 40, 50, 60 bucks used, but most of them fall in that range. You got to test them out, make sure they work, all that good stuff. This is an awesome sale. Oren's Dictionary of Law. It's a paperback book. The same guy I bought all that Christian kind of books for $10. He had another set of books the other day. He's one of my sources that I go to quite often to buy stuff. And there was a bunch of law stuff and some school books, like textbooks. Most of the textbooks weren't really worth a whole lot. There were one or two that were okay. But I saw this law book in there, and I scanned it, and it said that one had sold for 50 or 60 bucks with shipping. I didn't even look at the listed comps. I just saw that it had sold, and I'm like, boom, awesome deal. I think he wanted 25 for everything I bought that day, which I thought was cool. Got this home, and I'm like, well, that one sold really low, but it didn't have the CD in it. Mine does. And all the other ones listed were for 160, 150, 140, all that. So I listed mine for 150, and sure enough, it sold. So one of my best book sales ever, just a law book, 4th edition with the CD. A Park Tool Company. This is a multi screwdriver tool here. It was in an estate sale, fill a bag. It's probably $1 in, 50 cents in, something like that. And it ended up selling for 13 shipped. Not something I'd go out and buy again. I do buy the multi-tools, the Leathermans, especially Gerber. Some of the better brands can do a little bit better, but Leatherman especially. But this one ended up finally selling. Happy to get it out. An Onkyo remote from the remote buy while on our vacation. Went to that couple thrift stores and bought remotes, 30 shipped. Great deal for a used remote. Kelty Kids. I bought a Kelty Kids backpack, like a traveling hiking bag with you put your child in the back and it kind of straps them in. The problem was, sorry for shaking the camera, the problem was there ended up being a rip in the actual canvasy material, whatever it was that kind of the child would be in. So there was no way you could sell that. It's a liability there. You don't want to put that out there. I didn't see anyone being able to fix it either. So I ended up taking off the zipper backpack that zipped onto the back, sold that for 30 bucks by itself. I had paid $5 for the unit, and I was going to throw it away, and then I said, I wonder if anyone could use this buckle if theirs broke or something like that. I listed it for $14.99, and sure enough, someone came through and bought it. After a few months, they paid 15 bucks just for that replacement buckle. So a good way to part it out, make some money. 2 Omron hip pedometer, aerobic activity trackers. There were 2 of them. Person bought them both. They were listed at, I think, $15.99, something like that, $14.99 each, and they ended up buying. But the same person bought both. They did need those replacement little batteries or whatever, watch battery things in them. So I didn't have any more, so I had to order some. But I think that cost me a couple bucks. Plus I got some extra ones, and we still sold them for 32 shipped. I paid $2 each for them. A Rain Spooner or Ryan Spooner, I'm not sure how you pronounce it. If anyone knows, feel free to put it in the comments so I don't sound like a fool when I say it every time. But I bought a bunch of these shirts from an estate sale, paid $30 for everything I bought, a whole bunch of stuff. This one sold for $30, shipped on a best offer. It was a size large, nothing really crazy, just kind of a Hawaiian floral print. A Toshiba VCR remote control. This is from the remote buy as well, 14 shipped. Probably one I think some people wouldn't pick up, but it ended up selling. A lot of people are looking for the Pioneers, stuff like that, but this old Toshiba did sell. The 48 Laws of Power. This one was also in that $10 buy of books. This one sold for 14 shipped. And The Valley of Vision, a collection of Puritan prayers and devotions. This one also sold for 12 shipped from that same stack of books. So that stack of books we already have, I want to say 20, 30, 40 something, 50 something bucks, and just the 4 or 5 books that sold, we spent $10 for everything, and there were some other ones that are listed. So we've already made plenty of money for it to be worth it, and we'll still make some more over time as the rest sell. When I buy these books, guys, just to be clear, most of them end up being not worth anything. I scan through, find the ones that are valuable. The rest go to my wife. She looks at Declutter to see if they have 50 cents, 30 cents, 20 cents, or whatever, and she'll send them into them just to make a few extra bucks, and that's kind of her thing that she does. But aside from that, the rest get donated to the thrift store, to the library sale, or whatever it is. So most of that stuff is not good. Same with CDs, DVDs. Most are not good, but every once in a while you find a couple that you can make some money on. So that's kind of how I look at it. A PS2 Slim, console, controller, memory card, all the cords, sold for 80 shipped. I love the PS2 Slim. They sell so well. Usually fairly reliable. Sometimes you get a lens or whatever that won't read, a laser, but ended up being okay. 80 shipped on that one. A Care Bear Baby Hugs Bear plush. This one sold for 20 shipped. Goes first class. A Lego Idea book from 1990. It had the sticker sheet in there. This one sold for 13 shipped, and I did get positive feedback on it. I did ship it out media mail as well. An empty AirPods box. I sell a lot of those iPhone boxes. I don't sell as much as I used to, but I'll still sell them occasionally if I pick them up. This one sold for 15 though, which was great. It's a little box, so it ships first class. The guy left me neutral feedback and said that I canceled the sale, even though it shows delivered and whatever. So I'm assuming he meant the wrong thing. I did message him, but no response. It's a neutral feedback, whatever, not worth my time. A Tekken 6 PS3 disc-only game sold for 10 shipped. Tested it out, it did work. I do have like extra DVD cases lying around, or PS3 empty cases, and I'll put it in there when I ship it, just so that way it has some protection when it goes through the mail. PlayStation 3 Mass Effect Trilogy. This is a set of 3 games, but it does not have the manual booklet that goes inside. It's still sold for 29 shipped. A Denon RC978 remote. This one I tested out. It did work, but it had something loose inside, so I unscrewed the back. There was a little tiny piece of plastic that had chipped off. Pulled it out, still tested out. Everything seemed okay, and I sold it for 30 shipped, and I got good feedback as well. So it sounded like something worse may be wrong, but it was just a little tiny piece of plastic that broke off on a little clip, and the things still hold together, and the person seems to be happy, so that was good. A U.S. Army leather holster. I think it's for a Colt 45. The writing on it, where it had some of the markings, was really worn out. You can see the U.S. on the front, but some of the other markings were pretty beat up. I paid $10 at an estate sale for this, 10 or 15. Just looked cool. Took a best offer of 75. It went global shipping program. It got stuck in the mail. The buyer opened a case and said that it hasn't arrived. They want an immediate refund. I responded that I had delivered it to the global shipping center and it was up to them to do it. And right as I sent that message, they must have got involved and they closed the case in favor of me, and they refunded the buyer. So I had no penalty to me, I guess, and the buyer was refunded by eBay because it was their issue with the global shipping program. So not sure what the holdup was. Maybe they'll get it eventually, but 75 shipped on that guy. I bought some Tupperware lids. They were all orange lids. This one was like a medium-sized one, and there were 3 smaller ones. Paid $2 for all of them because I looked this one up and I'm like, oh, this lid sells really well. I thought she might do $1 for all, but she would not. She was a nice lady though, so I bought them all. And they've actually sold pretty well. This one sold for 14. Only took a couple of days to sell, a week maybe tops. And then you'll see some other ones coming up in the coming weeks. I think we've sold all 3 of them now, the other ones. And they're smaller. The other ones only go for about $8, but they only ship for what, 3 something, a little over $3 in shipping, maybe even under. Really cheap, so it's easy money there. Look out for those Tupperware lids. Some of them might be worth your time if you can find them. An Atari Classic Games for PC. This one is sealed. It's a PC game from 2005. Just scanned it, seemed to have some value, and it sold for 13. The Illustrated Signs and Symbols source book. This is from a lot of books that I bought when I got that law book. This was also in there. This one sold for 23 shipped. It had a little warping to the cover though, so that probably hurt it a little bit, but still got 23 bucks. Some more Align Probiotic Digestive Supplement Capsules. Not much to say, still sold for 26 bucks. American Dad Volume 1 3-disc set, brand new sealed. You can see the sticker on the front, I think from Best Buy. It was still sealed. Had this one for a while. Someone finally paid up and got the 12 bucks for it. I was surprised to find out that I got a message from them saying that one of the discs was missing. That it was not in there. It was not brand new. I responded it was brand new when we sent it out. The seal looked authentic. There was no signs of, altercation, or not altercation, altering of the packaging or whatever. And basically I said you can open up a return like I normally would and send everything back to me. The buyer never responded, so I'm not sure what the deal was. It's been quite a while now, but 12 shipped on that one. Maybe they didn't need the disc, or maybe it was there and there was something weird going on. I don't know. But HP61 Tricolor ink. I've been selling this ink for a while, a couple months back. You guys probably saw a bunch of ink I got for free from one of my friends. Their employer was throwing all this stuff away. She knew that I sold on eBay. She said, hey, we're going to throw this ink away. Do you want it? I said, yes. She said, you can have it. Don't worry about it. It's a gift from me. And we ended up selling it. So thank you to her. She's awesome. And I ended up finding out that I had messed up on my quantity. I thought I was sold out, but I went back into my ink bin and found at the bottom there were a couple extras. So I've gone ahead and relisted them. This one sold for 12 shipped. We'll see some more in the coming videos as well. A Greg Speed Studies 1929 Anniversary Edition. I've sold a bunch of these little shorthand Greg books or whatever. They're usually from the 20s, 30s, 40s, and 50s from the ones that I've had. There are newer ones, but this collection was a little bit older. This one sold for $10. Ghostbusters Sega Genesis. I went to a garage sale and they had a Sega Saturn controller, like a big turbo kind of controller like you might use for fighting games or something like that, in the box, but the box was beat up and trashed. They wanted 10 bucks. I was like, okay, I'm looking at it. And then in the bottom there I find some Genesis games. Of course, like some football game that's not worth anything. And then Ghostbusters was in there. And I'm like, I know this game's worth good money. So I bought it for 10. The controller should still sell for 30 or 40 bucks, and then this guy sold for 50 shipped. Franklin Mint, the chess set of the gods. It has like Jupiter in there. It has Zeus, I think, is one of them. Hermes or whatever. A bunch of different kind of Greek or Roman gods or whatever they are. But they're like little chess pieces. Each one comes with one of the main pieces and then a pawn. I got like 6 or 7 of these when I bought all the decon stuff. This particular guy sold for $60 shipped. That was the last one I had. Some more of that HP ink that I had messed up on the count. This little set of 3 sold for $36 shipped. The Beatles Day by Day book. This is from the Rock and Roll Buy. This paperback book sold for $15 shipped. Tenju Z for Microsoft Xbox 360. No manual though, but it was good condition. A couple of minor scratches, but nothing serious. It sold for $18. The MGA Owner's Handbook. This is one of those manuals from the big manual buy. This is a kind of a lower end one, but it still sold for 12 bucks. A Shark dusting tool attachment. I've done well on Shark vacuum accessories. Usually I'll find them in like a garage sale or an estate sale. They don't have the vacuum for whatever reason, or they're just loose parts lying around. If they're in good shape and I can identify what pieces, I will pick them up. This one sold for 20 shipped, and it did go first class. A Netgear Powerline Ethernet adapter. This was actually in with all the remotes I bought while on vacation. It was just thrown in one of the buckets, so it was part of the deal. Tested it out, it did work, and it sold for 15 bucks, goes first class. An Easy Tracer Artograph art projector. You put there's a light bulb in, you turn it on, and you put it on top of like your picture, and then it projects it on the wall or something like that. So it's pretty cool, but I ended up paid $5 at a garage, so it was used, but she said it worked well. I powered it up myself, and it worked, and it sold for $40 shipped. I think it cost us like $13 to ship it, so we might have made 15 bucks in the deal, somewhere around there. HP61 ink from that HP lot. That one sold for 31 shipped. Another Align Probiotic. We're getting towards the end, guys. Just bear with me. An Align Probiotic. This one sold for 18 shipped. This one was like a 5 times as strong, but it was actually less tablets or whatever capsules. So I only paid $4 for this one, but got 18 shipped out of it. Naruto Clash of Ninja for the GameCube sold for $12. And lastly, guys, an Innova Champion Panther disc. I bought a bunch of these disc golf discs from Storage Unit Guy one day, and it was a great set of stuff that I bought. There was a whole like a case or whatever with all these different discs, and they're probably 15 maybe or so. A lot of them were beat up. You can kind of see by the picture, this guy drew like a little stick figure on the back that was, it looked like he was smoking, you know, a joint or something on the back. Different kinds of stuff that this little character was doing, and in Sharpie, and it won't really come out that well from what I tried. So I ended up listing them as is, but this one sold for 30 shipped, which is a pretty good deal on the best offer. There's other ones that'll go for, I think I may have sold one for 45. We'll see that come, but most are going to be around that $20 range, and then I sold some cheaper, but I think in all we'll probably have $150 when it's all said and done worth of discs from that buy, which is pretty cool. So that's it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I'm sorry if it felt long, but that's how many sales there were, so I can't do anything about that. Hope you guys did enjoy it. You learned something, and thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, share with your friends, whatever the YouTubers tell you to do, and if not, that's okay too. I appreciate you guys watching. Have a good day.